Good morning and happy Thursday to you. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We are inching towards the weekend. Thursday morning here on the Sunrise Show. And a Thursday check of our weather and traffic right now with Rod and Chris.
Hey, good morning. You see that fog on Chris's camera. You can also see it on this camera looking at our state capitol down in Salem. 36 degrees. Much of the valley, maybe where you are, is actually down to freezing. So that means some of this fog is freezing fog, and that can produce some slickness on surfaces. We're at 35 out along the river with calm winds at PDX. This is the day moving forward. I don't see much sun overall. I think it's going to be cloudy once the fog lifts visibility-wise. Generally light winds, 746 sun up, and now 4:55 is when the sun goes down. Chris, you've added a good 30 minutes plus to the sunset time.
Yeah, that's nice, right? And it's nice when we get sun, but for now it's dark, it's foggy. This is over on the west side, Highway 26 out near 217, pretty foggy there. Traffic volume picking up a little bit in Wilsonville, but so far no major trouble out there on the roads. I do want to take you up to the Salmon Creek area. Of all the cameras that we've looked at this morning, this one looks like one of the foggiest. Also, note this, a little bit later on this morning, between 9 and 4 p.m., WashDOT's going to close one southbound lane of I-5 through Salmon Creek between the 205 split and the 134th on-ramp for some guardrail repairs. So, guys, that could create some delays a little bit later on today. But for now, relatively smooth sailing on the freeways.
All right, thanks, Chris. President Biden delivered his farewell address to the nation last night. During his speech, the president discussed what he considered to be his accomplishments over the last 4 years. He pointed to what he described as gains in jobs, changes to prescription drug costs, and pandemic recovery.
In the past 4 years, our democracy has held strong. And every day I've kept my commitment to be president for all Americans through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. I've had a great partner in Vice President Kamala Harris. It's been the honor of my life to see the resilience of essential workers getting us through a once-in-a-century pandemic.
The president also wished the Trump administration success as it takes over the White House next week and offered his thanks to Americans.
Passion does not overrule our responsibility to our neighbors.
That's Portland Mayor Keith Wilson. He met with Portland police and local leaders yesterday to talk about the plans to keep things safe heading into Inauguration Day on Monday.
Increased staffing is expected with more patrols at least through next Tuesday. Ashley Grahams joins us live from Portland Police's Central Precinct in downtown Portland with more. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning. This is very similar to what we heard from Portland police and city leaders back in October, right before that presidential election. They're continuing to say, go ahead and protest, just do so peacefully. City and county leaders met yesterday to talk about their preparations heading into Inauguration Day, including their partnership with local and federal law enforcement and an emphasis on staffing more police officers through next Tuesday. Many of those who spoke mentioned Portland's chaotic history as a reason for these precautions.
You know, we cannot not believe our experience. And those experiences and those beliefs are real. I don't want to dismiss those, but I'm committed as the chief of police to create space for us to be able to explore our humanity in a different way.
Yeah, city and county leaders say if you break the law this weekend, you can expect to face some consequences. Here's Multnomah County's new district attorney, Nathan Vasquez.
The right to protest does not include the right to vandalize buildings, break windows, or hurt people. If you break the law during these events, you will be prosecuted, period.
Portland Police Chief Bob Day did say they've identified a couple of events planned for this weekend, demonstrations, protests. They are in the process of reaching out to those organizers, and they will be monitoring. China, Drew.
Our Ashley Graham's reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Ashley. And you can catch special coverage of President-elect Trump's inauguration starting at 4:30 right here on Sunrise on Monday before the Today Show and NBC takeover at 7 o'clock. And a reminder that you can also stream our coverage anytime on KGW+. And coming up at 6:30, the FBI says it has new information to share about its ongoing investigation into the ballot box fires in Portland and Vancouver leading up to last November's election. Our Thomas Schultz walks us through what we know so far ahead of an update of the Bureau this afternoon.
Meanwhile, the president-elect's nominee for the Department of Transportation says he will honor federal funding for projects like the I-5 bridge expansion project. At his confirmation hearing, Sean Duffy assured lawmakers that federal grants, including ones that support the Hood River Bridge project, will remain intact if agreements are met. The interstate bridge has already been awarded $2.1 billion from 2 federal grants and is pursuing a third for another $1 billion. If Duffy is confirmed, he will take over from Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
For the first time in over a decade, Washington has a new governor. Bob Ferguson took over the role with the oath of office yesterday. His new office comes after a 12-year run as Washington Attorney General under 3-year Governor Jay Inslee.
Too many of our residents are unsheltered. Housing is too expensive, and there's not enough of it. Our state government is bogged down by too much bureaucracy, and core freedoms, like reproductive freedom, are threatened. Despite these and other challenges, I am optimistic.
One of Ferguson's first challenges will be to address a $12 billion budget deficit over the next couple of years. Yesterday, Ferguson signed executive orders directing state agencies to find ways to speed up housing production, cut down on state permitting and licensing times, and create a roundtable focused on protecting reproductive freedoms.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has declared a state of emergency that will allow Port of Morrow to violate its water pollution permit. The emergency order will affect Morrow and Umatilla counties through February 28th. The move aims to prevent an economic shutdown as heavy rainfall threatens to overwhelm the port's storage capacity. The port handles nitrate-rich wastewater from food processors, spreading it on fields as fertilizer, but excess runoff risks contaminating groundwater. Governor Kotek says this exemption is necessary to protect thousands of jobs while storage upgrades are completed. But not everyone is thrilled about this order. Oregon Rural Action works to get safe drinking water to rural communities. They told our Blair Best that this order is completely misguided.
This is just going to result in more of this highly contaminated and untreated wastewater being dumped in an area that is already seriously devastated by nitrate contamination. And it's going to remove what few guardrails are still in place for this winter. And those guardrails have been whittled away over the last year by the Port of Morrow, spreading on more land, changing the rules that they violated last winter when they violated their permit almost 900 times.
Governor Kotek stressed the importance of balancing economic needs with long-term efforts to address nitrate pollution in the region.
The Portland Classic is returning to Columbia Edgewater Country Club for the next 3 years, including this year. The Portland Classic is the longest running non-major tournament on the PGA Tour. It's a 72-hole event. Many of the top players in the world have competed in it, and it's raised millions of dollars for charities. It's also a special year for Columbia Edgewater, celebrating its 100th anniversary. The Standard Portland Classic tees off August 14th.
Yeah, so a new sponsor this year, Rod. The Standard jumping in to keep that tradition alive. It is, again, kind of cool that it's the longest running non-major event on the LPGA Tour.
And, you know, the list of Hall of Famers, Nancy Lopez, Annika Sorenstam, who have played in that, it's a lengthy list. Julie Inkster, actually the win at Columbia Edgewater in this tournament was the win that put her in the Hall of Fame. So big, rich history for that golf tournament. Here's a look at a cold front that doesn't have much moisture with it, if any, that will come through our area. Now, the impacts will be the east wind that popped yesterday. Troutdale, you folks did have winds gusting to 40 in the afternoon, and we cleared out. That is gone. The temperature inversion also breaking down out in the gorge. And there could be just a trace of rain or some really light amounts up along the north coast at some point today. But overall, we're quiet right now. You don't see any moisture anywhere, and we'll be quiet throughout the day. Lincoln City camera, first time in a number of days, showing cloudy skies instead of clear skies. So you folks at the beach, probably the most noticeable change overall in today's weather from what you have been seeing. 35 right now. That was a view from Chinook Winds Casino Resort. 31 in Forest Grove, 31 Happy Valley. So there are freezing spots. Battleground, good morning, 29 for you. Again, fog areas, low cloud areas, light winds. Dallas, good morning, 32 is your early morning number. If you headed up to the high country today, it's above freezing up there this morning. Temperatures will be holding steady to slowly coming down in the afternoon as the snow level that has been up above 8,000 feet starts to lower, but no moisture expected today. Again, the warmest temperatures will be this morning. Government Camp, 38 degrees. That's the current number up there. We'll be cooling off during the afternoon. Cold tonight. You see the lows tonight getting down to around 20. All right, forecast highs here in the lowlands today. 40s to 50 at most at the coast. Best chance of any moisture would be the north beaches, as I mentioned. Generally low 40s with cloud cover in the valley. It will be a mostly sunny day again in central Oregon and then farther out to the east. Our 7-day forecast. The clouds today, 45 or cooler. Tomorrow, morning fog that could take some doing to clear, but once we clear tomorrow, that's it. Then we have clear nights and clear days, clear mornings, all the way through your weekend. Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Remember, cold nights coming, 26 Monday morning with a high of 43 and a chilly east breeze. That's your update.